And the benefit that you touched on, with your business, it has to do with leveraging others people's platforms, right? That's one of the main benefits versus leveraging others people's money, which is very common to hear. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, today I think leveraging other people's audience is more
Mhm.
powerful than leveraging other people's money, right? Even today, money is, even with interest rates going up, money is still relatively cheap and relatively abundant. And the example I always think of is, what if Oprah came to me and she says, Tom, I love what you're doing at Interview Valet. Here's $1 million. Um, just use it, give it back to me whenever you can, right? I wouldn't say no, but if she said you can either take the $1 million or be on my show, let me introduce you to all of my people, right? I think most people would take other people's audience, right? You look at somebody like uh, Sarah from Spanx, right? She built $1 billion company from leveraging other people's audiences, basically Oprah's, when she really launched that program there. And so I think so often now we're just saying, how do we break through the noise? How do I build this audience? It's like, well, the audience is already there. Why don't you just leverage with that? And you see people do this, and it's not anything new, right? You talked about your friend that had the radio station in El Salvador. They're just reinventing things, right? The Beatles, when they broke into the United States, they didn't start their own, late night show. No, they got on the biggest one that was out there. When people talk on stages, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Most of the time they're talking on somebody else's stage, right? And so we're just doing it other ways. As seen on TV used to be the way to do it, right? They built the network, and then you get seen on that. And so really it's just a continuation of using modern things like podcast interviews, right? And get on an established podcast. And if anything, it's easier because right after this, we're going to say goodbye. And then you're going to go back and have to edit and promote and put all that together. So it's really the host that's doing the majority of the work, but it's the guest that I would argue is probably getting the majority of the benefit.
Yeah, that is so true.